Hey guys, TerrorPUP here, and we're going to be setting up a Minecraft Java server on Proxmox. Now, you're probably asking yourself, why would you want to set up a game server, or why would you want to use Proxmox to set up a game server? Okay, because you could easily just share out the jar file, make it accessible for everybody to hit. But I want to show you guys how to use LXCs, and the LXC that we're going to download is Gameserver, so there are different ones you can use. And inside the LXC is Linux Game Server Manager. Now, if you're not familiar with them, at the end of the video, I will show you their webpage. Fantastic group of people. You can set up all kinds of servers like Quake, Left 4 Dead, and many more. But today we're going to be setting up a Minecraft server. Okay. And I'm going to be setting this up on an Odroid H2 that you guys have seen in my shorts that a friend gave me. Now, let's go ahead and get started. Okay. So after you install Proxmox, and I'll do another video on that, or you could look at my video that I have linked above where I'm talking about the UE2 X1 where I got Proxmox set up, because as long as it's Proxmox, it doesn't matter what you use. Okay, you're gonna go to the URL and you're gonna put :8086 behind it, and when you do that, it's gonna give you a warning because it just wants to let you know that you're going to a site that doesn't have a real certificate. This is self-signed, and if you ever wonder, just click up here, click why this certificate's not valid, and as you can see, this is all self-signed. So next, go ahead and click proceed to, and when it comes up, we're going to log in as root. Okay. And the first thing we're going to need to do is find the storage that we have that we can save containers to. Okay. This one here, the LVM, is where we're going to write it to, but usually your local one. And we're going to go to templates. And I've already downloaded the game server, but what we're going to do, just to show you how I got it, was we're going to click on templates, and we're going to actually, we would just scroll down, but that takes a while. Just up in the search, type games, and it's going to come up, and you're going to click on it. Okay, and you'll hit download. Now, I already have this download, but you would see it go through, and once it's downloaded, it's there. Now, we have our template, and just one more thing, we can do a video on this later. Turnkey creates a bunch of Linux containers, and Linux containers predate Docker. Okay, actually, they kind of borrowed the technology from Solaris, but anyway, they have created a bunch of containers that you can use to set up on Proxmox. Okay, so we're going to come now up to this button. Okay, and we're going to say create a container. And if you're in a Proxmox cluster, you would select which node you want to run it from. Okay, So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to call this H2 mine. Okay. Because it's the board and it's Minecraft. You can call it whatever you want to. Again, resource pool would be if you have it in a cluster. Here, you're going to go ahead and set up the password for the container. Okay. And there are more features under advanced. I'm going to go ahead and put a tag Minecraft just to show you how to use tags. Okay. And we're going to go next. And the template again is under local. If you have different storage like ZFS or a NAS storage, you can store templates up there and you can select from there. So we're going to go ahead and select the game server. We're going to go ahead and hit next. Okay. And you don't really need a big server unless it's going to be, like a modern day game. So for this, I'm going to be quite generous and give it 75 gigs. Okay. Still have the advance on, and there are other things we could give to it, but we're just going to keep it like this. Okay. All right. Because this is Java, I'm going to go ahead and recommend you give it as many cores as you can, but I'm going to go ahead and just put 4 because I don't know how many cores the H2 has. I should look. All right. Next, I would recommend that you give it at least 2 gigs. I'm going to go ahead and give this one 3 with a gig of swap. Okay. Next, network. I'm going to go ahead and use static, and the reason I want to use static is I'd like to be able to find it. Okay. So if you don't know your IP range, I would log in to your wireless router or take a look at your IP, and usually it's going to be within the range. If, for example, if I was using Comcast's router that they give for homes, I would be like on a 10.1.10.0/24 networks. Okay, so because I manage my own and I am using pfSense, we're going to go ahead and select, okay, this IP. Oh, actually, no, that's the gateway. Up here is where we'll put the IP. And again, it helps if you can type. Okay. /24 means you're on a Class C network, which means you have 254 hosts that you can use. Okay. But only 252 of those are actually usable. But we can go over networking later, or if you really want to check out a guy who does great work on networking, look out for network Chuck's videos. All right, we're going to hit next. And this is part of the domain I've set up for my small board computers. And we're going to go ahead and actually, I'm going to use Google right now, just so that everybody knows how to put a DNS server in there. And the last thing we're going to do is we're going to confirm everything, and we'll hit finish. It is now creating the container. Now, containers, as you can see over here, look like little square blocks. And as long as that padlock's on there, you're not going to be able to access it because it is still in the process of creating it. And depending on the speed of your CPU and the speed of your disk, it could take a couple seconds, or as you can see here, a little while. Okay. Once you see tasks okay, that means it's done, and we can hit the blue circle. The green circle here means that it is new. Now, I was curious about the number of cores I have on this H2. So let's go real quick and take a look at summary. Okay. So on this Odroid H2, I do have 4 CPUs. I did upgrade the memory from the 8 gigs that was given to me to 16. Right now, there's not any really load on it. Okay. And our CPU is an Intel Celeron J4115 with 1.8 gigahertz in speed. I am not paying for subscription, so that's the warning light here. Okay. And boot mode is EFI, which I do recommend. Okay. So now we're going to come over here. And this is our summary page for our new game server. Okay. And over here in notes, we're going to put that this is a LGSM underscore Minecraft Java server. Okay. Don't need to, but it kind of looks good when you're trying to find stuff. And if you notice, okay, that the green circle matches the tags. So like if I went into this one and I go up here, Proxmox helper script is actually what I used to build it, but I could come up here and put that it is a Doku wiki, and I'll hit OK. Okay. And now there's 2 circles. So these little circles on the side are indicating of tags. And actually, you know what? I'm going to remove this one because I just want my tags on there. Okay, anyway, let's go back to that. So right now, 103, the H2 mine is gray. And the reason it's gray and not black like the Mono 01 up here is because it's not running. So console will give you access to no VPN, but as you can see right now, no VNC. But right now, nothing's running. Resource, this shows what we set up. Okay. Network, there's our static, our gateway. DNS, there's our DNS server. Options are other things that we can have, like if we want this particular server to start when Proxmox comes on, we click that, we click here, we click this, and every time we reboot, we will always have our Minecraft Java server. Okay. History tasks basically shows you when it's created. Just to kind of show you guys, here's another one that's been created, and it keeps good history. So if you're kind of curious what happened to it, you can go to that. You can make backups of your server. So if you're going to do something like we're going to do here, after we get it up and running, we're going to upgrade the Java to JDK21, which is Java 21, because in order to play Minecraft 1.21, you have to use a version that's higher than Java 17. And you'll see the error here in a little bit. If we were in a Proxmox cluster, you can replicate this and send it to other areas. Snapshots are like backups, but it's real quick where you can take it and you can revert to them. Just to show you real quick, before setup. Okay, before we install Minecraft server, and we'll take a snapshot. Oh, can't have any spaces in it, that's why I'm not allowed. Done. And I always recommend taking snapshots with your vert or your container powered off. Firewall rules, so if you wanted to, you can set up firewall rules. Right now, I'm not worried about that because we're behind a pfSense firewall, and we're behind a router that does not allow my pfSense to get out. I'm in kind of like in a little secure bubble. And the last thing is permissions. So if you had, like, if you gave your kids access to your Proxmox server, you could set it up where they only have access to this particular server. Okay, so let's go back up to console, and we're going to hit start. Okay. And it's connecting. And here in a second, we'll have output from our server. Sorry, container. Again, this is running LXC, Linux containers, which came again before Docker. So this is, it's not a virtual machine. Well, it is a virtual machine, but it's not a true virtual machine like we do with, VirtualBox, VMware, okay, Citrix, Zen, any of those. This is just a small little container that has enough packages, okay, or juice, just enough OS to run what we need. All right, let's log in with the password that we use to set up. And the first thing it's going to do is it's going to come up and it's going to say, hey, and this is part of Turnkey's scripts. That's why I say if you have never used them, use them, because all their stuff's set up pretty good. So we're going to go ahead, and it has to be greater than 8 characters. Confirm our password again. And sometimes it helps not to talk and type. Now, Turnkey does want you to support them, and you can do that by buying a key from them. And this is where you would put your API key showing that you paid for that. I don't have one, so for now I'm going to hit skip. I am going to submit my email address so that I can get security alerts. Okay. And now we're going to install any updates since this Linux container was built. And it runs just like you would if you're running on a server. And again, part of the reason that I used Google was my DNS server should be up and running, but a lot of you guys don't run a DNS server in your house like I do. So we'll just use Google's. You can also use hate to say it, Cloudflare after their little blow up, but 1.1.1.1. You could also use 9.9.9.9 or 4.2.2.1. Those are some open ones. All right, so they want us to reboot, but we'll reboot afterwards. We're going to hit skip for right now. And we can get into this, okay? It installs Webmin on 12.231, and that's good to know because, we do need to work on it, and there's multiple ways we can. Okay, there's a web shell which gives you access. So if you're not logged into your Proxmox server and into a console, you could actually get to these ports. Okay, so, and it's like shell in the box. So 2320 is like shell in the box. Webmin, which is a good utility, is on 321. And then you can SSH to the host on 22, which is what I do for the most part. Okay. And then we're going to go to advanced menu, and we're not done yet. So if we wanted to get alerts, we would have to set up a mail relay server. I could get a certificate for this using Let's Encrypt, but just keep in mind you do have to have a fully qualified domain. One thing I want to do, just so that it's not wandering the world, is I'm going to go ahead and set my time zone so that way, for any odd reason, there's not an issue. Okay, so all right, let's go back to one more time to time zone. I think it set it US Eastern. Okay. All right, cool. And back. And then system settings, you can do that. And then you can shut down the LXC from here. But what we want to do real quick is go to game servers and select games and hit OK. And then from here, we're going to use page down. And the reason we're doing that is we want to be able to jump multiple servers. See, again, Left 4 Dead, Just Cause. Okay. And we're going to go up, and 62 is our Minecraft server. If your kids play on Windows or Xbox, you'll want to use Bedrock Edition. Oh, and your phones can connect to this version as well. Okay, so I prefer Java just because, I don't know, it's real nice. Okay, so we're going to hit OK. And now it's going to go through. And the first thing it's got to install is the Linux game server. So it's grabbing all the stuff that it needs. Okay, and you could go grab a soda real quick, or step away because it's going to continue run. And now, as you can see, the Linux game server is there. So now it's installing the Minecraft server. So MC install, and it's now grabbing all the dependencies for that. And there's Linux game server. And it's checking to see if there's anything missing. It just found out that it doesn't have distro info, open JDK 17. Okay. And there's some device, I'm sorry, what you're hearing is there's some device on my KVM that keeps connecting and disconnecting. Anyway, we're now in the process of doing the final setup. Okay. And again, this will take a couple seconds to get set up. Okay. All right. And it's still chugging along. And again, the speed depends on your Proxmox server and your network. Okay. And we're almost done. And if you're like me, you're wanting to make sure that your kids have a safe environment. That's part of the reason I learned about this. Plus, I also wanted to play some older games. I actually have a Quake 2 server set up. Now, another reason to use this versus running it from your system is it's always up. So let's say you do share this out to your friends. They can connect to it and play on it, and you don't have to be there with them. And there are AC controls that you can use to make sure that only the right people get on the server. All right, we're going to set ourselves up as a user. Message of the day is this is the H2 mine. Okay. And it's going to finish. All right. And we're done doing selecting the don't need to run the updates for the Linux game server because it's already done. We're going to go to back. And now we're going to do a reboot because we got our security patches and everything there. And it doesn't take long for this to boot up because, again, it's a container. Now, so we're going to log in. Oh, and as you can see, we're running the latest and greatest version of Debian. Okay, we're running Bookworm Debian 12. So we'll log in again. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the home directory, and I want to show you guys that there is a user here. Okay, and I'm going to set this user password because we don't want our kids or friends or anybody to come into this server as root. Honestly, I shouldn't be logging as root, but I just want to show you guys that I do have this up and running. Okay, so we're going to do PASSWD and game user, and it says it doesn't exist. Interesting. Okay, and the user I create. So we'll fix that later, but for right now, I want to show you guys how to become the user. So we'll go into sudo game user with the dash because we want to load its profile. And just to show you, we are that user, which is really weird that it's saying that it doesn't exist. So I need to read up on this, But anyway, so now we're going to go into Gameserver. Okay, that's where our Minecraft server is. Okay, so the Linux gsm.shell, that's what you do to update the OS, or sorry, not the OS, the application that is running our Minecraft server. Minecraft, you'll do a /line server. And if you don't know the commands, just hit enter and it will show you all the commands that you can do. And then here, this is the version of Linux game server that we're running, version 24.1. Okay, and then we can start, stop, restart, monitor. We can set up alerts. So if you're using Discord, Slack, emails, so if it ever comes down, you'll get an alert. And then right now we want to run details. Okay, and the reason we're going to run details is I want to show you guys what it is. Sorry, the state that it's in, because you can't use status. You have to use details. And then we can use update. So let's say that they come out with 11.21.3 and you're on 11.21.1, you would run that to upgrade. And of course, I know that Minecraft's on 1.21. But I was just throwing some numbers out there so you can kind of follow around. Now, on a Linux host, okay, like the Zuma boards that I actually have set up, and I'll do a video on that one showing where I got it set up as a game server. Okay, you first have to create users. Like there's an actual user called MC server. If you're running Minecraft Bedrock, you would use MCB server, Quake 2, so on and so on. You create that user, you install the LGSM, and then you would do /MC server space install, and it'll do an install. But the turnkey script does all that for you. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to do /MC server detail. Okay, yeah, details. We're going to hit enter. And it goes by pretty fast, so you can use your scroll wheel on your mouse and go back up to the top. So here is our server, the version of Linux we're running, a little bit of information, okay? And see, it's picking up the kernel of the Proxmox. Here's our memory. Right now we're only using 72 megabytes. And down here, this is how much of the disk space we use. So you actually probably could get away setting up a an LXC with just 25 gigs. Okay. Right now it's picking up my IP. We'll fix that here in a minute because I don't want that one to show up. So under server files is where you go through and you set up stuff. This end user license agreement is on all version, and you do have to say yes to it in order to use it. Ops is where you would set your admin. Now notice that it says just TerrorPUP. That's not going to work, and we can do a video later on my other channel, Terror Minds, where I will show you guys how to set up operators, and operators are admins in the game. The other thing that we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and use Vim, and Vim's very easy. To me, it's a lot better than using Nano because you can do searches and replacements and stuff like that. Plus, I've been using it now for close to 30 years. All right. So hit enter. And I want to go to IP. There we are. And then I'm going to change this. And what it does is it looks for an IP that is out there, okay, that you can use. And I'm going to go ahead and change that to the IP of the host. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change my server port, because this one here, this Kazum, that is actually another Java server. So because I have two Java servers, I want to change that to 6, but for right now, I'm going to keep it on the standard port. Our message of the day that we typed in earlier should be towards the bottom. I don't see it. Okay. And you can go through here and like set up, stuff like peaceful world, creative world, okay, and stuff like that. One of the things that I wish it, there's, message of the day, my server name, okay. You can also set the number of users, and right now it's not set, so I think the default, no, there it is, 20. So I'm going to drop this down for now to 10. So if you have a small knit group, you can set it to a lower number. If you have a large number of people player, you can set it up to there. Okay, so now everything's set. Now, change directory, 2 dots to go back where we were. Again, we did our MC server, okay, with details, and it should be running, all right, but it stopped. And one of the things that we need to change is this, okay. So we're going to do MC server start, and unable to start server. So we're going to go back into our, hold on, I'm going to do a list, and we're going to go into log. Log is very useful, and we're going to tail server log. We're going to change directory into server logs, and there are no logs there. Let's go on to console. Or hold on, does script have any? Script does. So all these with the dates are services it tried to run up and start. So we'll take the last one, okay? And we're going to do cat, because it's not very big. And we're going to paste that file name down after I do copy. And that's just right now saying that it tried to build it and stuff like that in the versions. Let's take a look at the last one. And it's exiting with a code 1. Not telling you a lot. So let's go into console. And again, these are all useful to find out what's going on. Here's our problem. The version of the jar file, and that's what we're running Java with the jar file that has the whole game in it, was built with version 65. Does not run runtime 21. So we're going to go ahead and get the URL that we need, okay, to install Java 21. All right, so we're going to need Java 21. So we're going to come over to Computing for Geeks. I found this article. It's from March of 2024. just in case somebody in the future is watching this video. And it talks about the different places where you can get it. Oracle's JDK 21. You can do a curl with inside your LXC, and I'll show you how to do that here in a minute. Okay, and it goes through and it shows you how to do that. Or you can use OpenJDK. So I'm going to take this URL. Okay. And actually, you know what? We're just going to use the Oracle one. Okay. But if you want to use the OpenJDK, you can. And this is all the steps. It's a little bit longer. The Oracle one, the reason I like it is you just copy this. Okay. Come back over to your console and you'll do a paste. And if maybe wget's here, or hold on, wget. Oh, it is. Good. Sometimes if it's not, you can do an app up, space update, and then an app space install space wget. Wget's a lot easier than curl. Curl, you do curl space the URL space -o and the file name that you're saving out. So now that this is a Debian package, we'll use dpack-i, and there's our JDK. We'll oh, I have to be root, so we'll go back into our directory and we'll go into Gameserver, and don't download it into the directory I did, because then it's going to be impossible to find. Luckily, well, not luckily, but normally I would know where to go. So log console. And then we'll again use dpack. Debian package tool, we're going to give it a flag of a -i, and then JDK tab out. This will now install Java 21. Okay, so if you're running Linux game servers and it stopped working, it does require Java 21. Any versions prior to that, Java 17, and then I forget where it went from like Java 8 to 17. So if we type Java, we are now running Java 21. So we're going to go and then do a Control-R, sudo, and a Control-R does a search of your history, and because I've only logged in as the game user once, and then we're going to do cd tilde, because I want to be at the home directory, Gameserver, /mc server start. You will see that it will start. And to show you that, we'll go do an up arrow, change the start to details, and it started. And then one thing I'm just going to install, because it's not, I don't believe it's part of the application. Hold on, I gotta be root again. So app install htop. Nope, htop is not installed. Htop's better than top because it's color and you can organize it, and it gives a nice little bar graph at the top that you can follow along. Okay, so if I type htop, So right now, there's my 4 CPUs, 0 through 3. And if I type F5, for some reason, it's not sorting it. But normally if you press F5, it would sort it by the processes. Oh, it is. It's probably because of the console we're running. It is sorting it. So there's our parent process. There's the ones underneath, and it is running. Okay. So now let's get off the web browser and go to my desktop and let's launch Minecraft. Okay. So here's our Minecraft icon on our taskbar. And we're going to go ahead and launch it. And it's probably going to update, knowing my luck. And that's what it's doing. So used to Minecraft Java, when it was back when Mojang, before Mojang sold it to Microsoft, they actually had their little launcher, which was cool. But now part of the Xbox, your Microsoft account in Xbox, it's going to launch it where it's going to have all the versions of Minecraft. So this will take a second. We're almost there. And this is indicating we are running. And there we go. And all right. So over on our left-hand side are all the different Minecraft games. Okay, I think Legends has expired, but Dungeons and all that. Again, we want the Java version. So we're going to click that. And down here, okay, is the latest and greatest. I'm going to bring up my web browser again, just to show you guys. Do a clear, Control R, sudo, dot, back to the beginning, MC, server, details. We're going to scroll up a little bit because what we want is the version. Oh, see, it did pick up our new Java version, which is good. That's why we're running. But somewhere in here, it's not showing it. But normally, it would show the version. But anyway, minimize this. We're going to hit play. And it's going to... It has to, because I've not played this version, it's going to have to go grab it. And this is when doing pre-production pays off. Okay? Have a sip of my root beer while we wait. And I'm going to pause it and we'll let it load up, okay? All right. We are now downloading. Once it downloads, it'll do preparing and then it'll launch. Here we go. And the nice thing with the launcher is if you have older servers, you can actually set up different versions of Minecraft to play. And I know it doesn't look like, there we go, that it launched. It is launching, and there's our Mojang, or Mojang. Sorry. So single player is where you would go and you're playing on your PC and you're all alone, but the multiplayer is where we go. Okay. And if there were any of these servers up and running on this network, they will show up. So I'm going to hit add server. And I'm going to type h2 mine. And we're going to put 192.168.107.170. And we're going to hit done. Okay. And here in a second, it should come up. And there we go. All these are different servers that I do have running, but they're on different VLANs. And right now, we can't get to any of them, so that's fine. But anyway, we want to test out our new one. So now our new one's there. And you can tell it to broadcast out. Like if I was using MineOS, which is a Docker container, I could tell it to broadcast and it would show out here. But we're using Linux Gameserver. So we're going to click here. And now it's going to connect. And here we go. And just to give you guys a little bit of stats, F3, and we're running vanilla. Okay. So we'll hide that again and we will start moving. So this is a brand new world. Okay. I have nothing. And then I'm the only one on there. Okay. And in my ops folder, I wouldn't be able to be an admin. Like I can't change games modes by pressing F4 because this is strictly set up for survival mode. So the one thing we'll have to do, and we'll do it in a later video, is set it up so that we have administrators. So in case you have, people you need to kick off or help, or if you want to do something more in creative mode, you can. The chicken got away. All right, well, so the server's up and running. It's running on Proxmox. It's running in LXC. The last thing I want to show you, okay, is we're going to go back over here and we are going to go look for Linux game server machine. Okay, here's turnkeys. This is the one that we're running. Okay. Here's the actual home page. It's free. They do have a Discord channel, and it's pretty nice. And it has a lot more details. And then up underneath servers, so that you're wondering, like, well, TerrorPUP, you said I can run games. You go to the servers, and these are the games that you can run. Okay, like I said, there's a bunch of these, and you do need to have a Steam account to run most of these. There's our Java one. Okay, there's Java Bedrock, and so maybe Minecraft isn't what you want to run, but you can run other ones. Okay, and like I said, I set up an old Quake 2 server because I like Quake, and it was nice to be able to set up a Quake server. Okay. They do have a Docker version that's out there. For those that like to run Docker, you can't. The only way to run Docker on Proxmox is you have to set up a server, install Podman or Docker, and then you can run it that way. The LXC is so much easier. Okay. And then if you don't want to host it or you don't have the mean to host it, you can go to Digital Ocean. I do recommend them. Or Akamai. And Akamai is Linode for those of you who are wondering. And Linode, I actually do recommend. I still use them, and they're great. Okay, that's it. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, and until next time, peace.